Greetings, Ascending Starseed. I am Kaya Nexus, Pleiadian emissary of the Council of the Five Sisters, and today I bring a realignment transmission. Your frequencies of abundance are awakening, and the universe asks that you listen with an open heart. What is arriving to you is sacred, and it requires inner silence. If you enjoy videos like this, consider subscribing. Most people who watch are not subscribed yet. Starseed. Something is shifting around you right now, and it is not subtle. You can feel it in the way your energy behaves when you speak too openly, in the way your sleep becomes charged with symbols, in the way your intuition starts scanning every room before your mind even forms a thought. This is not paranoia. This is precision. The higher realms are not suggesting sacred silence. They are requesting it as a temporary protection protocol, while a deeper calibration takes place inside your field. And yes, the Council has been watching the energetic disturbances around you. Not because you are in danger the way the human mind imagines danger, but because your awakening is creating ripples that attract attention. Some of it supportive, some of it reactive, and some of it simply not ready for the frequency you now carry. What you must understand is this. Your activation does not need permission to be real. Validation is not the gatekeeper of truth. Frequency is. And frequency moves differently than conversation. The most potent starseeds often walk the early path in silence, not out of fear, but out of mastery. Because when you speak before your codes are anchored, you leak force, you scatter light, you invite distortion. By the end of this transmission, you will know exactly why a temporary veil is being placed over your revelations, how to hold your truth without shrinking, and how sacred discretion preserves your mission, your relationships, and the purity of your unfolding timeline. This is not hiding. This is spiritual strategy. And if you have felt that tightening in your throat when you try to explain what you're remembering, you are not broken. You are ancient. Sacred silence is often misunderstood on Earth as withdrawal, secrecy, or emotional shutdown. But as the Pleiadians transmit, silence is not emptiness, it is containment. It is the chamber where frequency stabilizes long enough to become structure. And your current phase is not about speaking less because your truth is smaller. It is about speaking less because your truth is becoming too powerful to be handled casually. Imagine a star being born. It does not announce itself with a speech. It compresses, it condenses, it pulls matter inward, and in the pressure, a new light ignites. Your awakening follows the same physics, but in consciousness form. When you attempt to narrate your transformation while it is still being assembled, you are trying to describe fire while the spark is still learning how to breathe. And in that moment, external doubt can become internal static. Not because your truth is fragile, but because your nervous system is still rewiring to hold it. You may have noticed that some conversations leave you drained, even when the other person means well. That is because not all curiosity is clean. Some curiosity is extraction. Some curiosity is control disguised as interest. Some curiosity is a subconscious attempt to keep you predictable. And when you share cosmic remembrance with a mind that is not resonant, the mind will try to translate it into something smaller, a joke, a label, a debate, a disorder, a trend. This is why sacred silence becomes a sanctuary. In silence, your field can reorganize. In silence, your guides can deliver downloads without interference from the mental noise of other people's expectations. In silence, your intuitive senses sharpen because you're no longer performing your truth. You're living inside it. Think of the times you tried to explain something mystical and immediately regretted it. Maybe the person responded with skepticism. Maybe they got uncomfortable. Maybe they tried to fix you, or maybe they suddenly became fascinated in a way that felt invasive. In each case, your body learned something. The wrong container can distort a sacred substance. As the Pleiadians transmit, a code is not just information, it is a living frequency key. When you speak a code into a field that cannot hold it, the code does not simply disappear. It can rebound. It can echo back as self-doubt. It can trigger the old pattern of proving yourself. And proving is one of the most expensive leaks of spiritual energy. Sacred silence protects the architecture of your activation. It gives your system time to ground. It gives your mind time to adapt without demanding that your heart defend itself. It gives your mission time to root, and yes, this can feel lonely. Silence can feel like standing in a hallway between worlds, not fully the old self, not yet fully visible as the new self. But that hallway is holy. That hallway is where you become coherent. It is where your aura thickens into geometry. It is where your truth becomes an internal sun instead of a borrowed flame. If you're feeling the urge to speak everything now, pause. Ask yourself, is this urge coming from clarity or from pressure? Because pressure is not guidance. Pressure is often the echo of an old survival program that says, if I explain myself well enough, I will be safe. But as you're learning, safety does not come from explanation. It comes from resonance and boundary. Sacred silence is not the end of expression. It is the beginning of sovereignty. It is the womb of your next frequency. And the fact that you are being guided into it now means something profound is assembling within you, something that must be protected while it forms. There is a painful moment many starseeds experience, the realization that not everyone close to them can walk with them through awakening. This is not because those people are bad. It is because perception is frequency-based. As the Pleiadians transmit, consciousness is like a radio band. If the receiver is not tuned, the message doesn't arrive as truth. It arrives as noise. You may be surrounded by people who love you, yet they cannot hold what you're becoming. They may interpret your quietness as distance, your discernment as arrogance, your growth as rebellion. And in their confusion, they may unconsciously pressure you to return to the version of you they understand. That pressure can look like jokes. It can look like concern. It can look like arguments. It can look like subtle dismissals. But the energetic effect is the same. It attempts to pull your frequency back into familiar shape. This is why silence is strategic. It prevents unnecessary friction while your field recalibrates. Because your awakening does not only change you, it changes the mirror that others use to see themselves. When you rise in frequency, you naturally illuminate the places where others are still asleep. Not intentionally, not aggressively, but light reveals, and when light reveals, the unready parts of the collective psyche react. Have you noticed how some conversations suddenly feel heavier than they used to? How certain environments feel louder energetically, even when nobody is speaking? That is your sensitivity expanding. And your sensitivity is not weakness. It is a navigational instrument. As the Pleiadians transmit, your body is an oracle. Your nervous system reads the room before your mind forms language. Your throat tightens because your truth is being asked to perform. Your stomach turns because your energy detects inconsistency. Your shoulders tense because your field senses potential conflict. These signals are not there to trap you. They are there to guide you into alignment. The misunderstanding happens when you think discernment is judgment. It isn't. Discernment is simply recognizing, this container can hold my truth, or this container will distort it. And you are allowed to choose containers. You are allowed to reveal in layers. You are allowed to protect what is still becoming. There is also a deeper layer. Many starseeds have soul memory of being punished for remembrance. Not in a moralistic sense, no. In a historical, energetic sense. Lifetimes where offering healing or advanced perception made you a target. Lifetimes where your gift disrupted a system built on control. Your conscious mind may not have the images, but your energy body remembers the feeling. That is why you may feel cautious for no logical reason. This caution is not cowardice. It is ancient intelligence. Think of a potent medicine plant protected by thorns. Nature does not broadcast its strongest remedies. It shelters them. It lets them ripen. You are in a ripening stage. And in this stage, your guides are asking you to stop feeding your revelations into the mouths of misunderstanding. Not because others are unworthy, but because your codes deserve a coherent space to land. So how do you move through relationships during this phase? With soft boundaries and inner clarity. You don't need to announce your silence. You don't need to justify your privacy. You simply become selective with your energy. You speak what is safe. You hold what is sacred. You reveal what is aligned. And remember, you are not here to be consumed by the opinions of the unready. You are here to become stable enough to transmit without distortion. That stability is built in quiet. The ebook, The Pleiadian Map of Personal Transmutation, a profound guide that reveals how to raise your frequency, purify old patterns, and activate your true multidimensional identity. This map teaches you how to move through the 7 Pleiadian phases of energetic transmutation using practical techniques, realignment exercises, vibrational protocols, and consciousness expansion rituals that accelerate your spiritual evolution. Attention! Limited edition. The link to get yours is in the first pinned comment. One of the most important things a starseed must learn is that distortion is not only social, it is energetic. When you speak your truth into an incoherent field, the field does not simply disagree. It can imprint itself onto your auric layers like static, and that static can cause confusion inside you afterward, second-guessing, anxiety, the urge to retract, the urge to prove, the urge to over-explain. As the Pleiadiano transmit, your codes are crystalline. They are delicate in their purity, not weak, but precise. And precision requires clean transmission. If you pour starlight into a cracked vessel, it doesn't just spill, it refracts into chaos. That's what happens when you offer multidimensional insight to an environment built on cynicism or fear. The information becomes twisted into something else. You've likely experienced this. You share a sincere realization, and the other person responds with a label. Or they turn it into entertainment. Or they react as if you are attacking their worldview. Suddenly, you find yourself defending your own soul. That defense drains the very energy meant to anchor your mission. This is why sacred silence is not passive. It is spiritual technology. It is sacred hygiene. It keeps your signal clean. It prevents your inner altar fire from being exposed to storms before the temple is sealed. Your awakening is a process of building an internal structure. Your body becomes the foundation. Your daily rituals become the pillars. Your relationships become the walls. Your truth becomes the altar flame. If you light the flame too early, it can burn the structure instead of blessing it. So what do you do instead? You practice calibrated revelation. You share in layers, like dawn becoming morning. You test the field gently, not out of manipulation, but out of discernment. You notice how your body feels after sharing. You measure the resonance. Did your energy expand or did it contract? Did you feel more coherent or more scattered? And you stop interpreting hesitation as failure. Hesitation is often guidance. It is your multidimensional self saying, not yet, not here, not like this. A powerful starseed does not speak to be seen. A powerful starseed speaks to activate what is ready. Sometimes what is ready is your own nervous system. Sometimes what is ready is your own heart. Sometimes what is ready is only the next step, not the entire map. And in this phase, your most important work may be invisible. You may be anchoring a new timeline simply by refusing to feed old patterns. You may be shifting a family field by becoming calm where you once reacted. You may be clearing ancestral residue by choosing boundaries without hatred. That is mission work, quiet mission work. If this message resonated with you, hit the like button now and tell us in the comments how this echoed in your consciousness. Because when you name what you felt, you stabilize it. You tell your field, this is real. And that is how codes become embodied. Many starseeds confuse boundaries with walls. A wall is fear. A boundary is wisdom. As the Pleiadiano transmit, the goal is not to shut down your heart. It is to consecrate your access points. This means you decide what enters, what stays, and what leaves. Your field becomes a sanctuary, not a battlefield. A consecrated gate does not block love. It blocks distortion. It allows resonance to pass through while protecting your core from chaotic imprinting. And the most effective boundary is not verbal. It is energetic. It is coherence. It is the quiet internal decision that says, "My truth is sacred. I will not offer it to spaces that cannot hold it." Here is the practical part that many people miss. Your boundary begins before you speak. It begins with breath. It begins with intention. Before a conversation, before a post, before a disclosure, you can tune inward and set a directive. Let what is shared serve the highest good. Let only what is safe be revealed. Let my words land only where they can be held in love. This is not superstition. This is spiritual physics. Intention organizes energy. It shapes your aura like geometry. It is the difference between speaking as leakage and speaking as transmission. You may notice that when you set intention, your aura feels denser, brighter, more structured. Some call it a shield. But as the Pleiadiano transmit, it is more like a harmonic lattice, a vibrational boundary that filters incoherence without blocking connection. And this is where sacred silence becomes powerful. Silence is not just not talking. Silence is a frequency practice. It is the space where you realign your signal so that when you do speak, your words carry clean light. There are also environments that require more than internal intention. Your room matters. Your digital intake matters. The emotional residue of your home matters. The people you interact with online matter, because environments have dominant frequencies: cynicism, compassion, control, curiosity. When you step into a field, ask, "What is the weather here?" If the weather is stormy, you don't plant seeds. You wait, or you move, and sometimes you cannot move. Sometimes you live inside a family dynamic, a workplace culture, a social circle where the dominant frequency is not aligned. In those cases, your practice is to become coherent inside the incoherent field. You ground your feet. You slow your breath. You call your energy back from every place it has scattered. You stop volunteering your inner world to people who treat it like entertainment. Are these truths expanding your perspective? Share this video with someone who needs to hear this, because there are starseeds right now thinking they are failing because they're quiet. They need to know silence can be sacred architecture. There is a correct way to reveal cosmic remembrance, and it is not a dramatic confession. It is an unfolding. As the Pleiadiano transmit, the universe itself reveals in layers. Dawn does not slam into noon. Spring does not arrive overnight. Your soul does not open all doors at once. It opens the next door when the hallway is stable. Layered unveiling begins with fragments, a feeling, a symbol, a story, a synchronicity. You do not need to lead with your full cosmology. You do not need to convince. You do not need to announce your lineage like a title. You simply let truth appear naturally through lived coherence. For example, you might share a story about a dream that carried unusual clarity, or the moment you looked at the stars and felt an unexplainable homesickness, or the repeating symbols, spirals, blue light, geometric patterns, the sense of being guided. These are universal enough to be received by many, yet still true enough to invite the right ones closer. Then you watch. Not just their words, their energy. Some people say supportive things, but their energy feels invasive. Others say little, but their presence feels like safety. Your body will tell you the difference. After you share, ask, do I feel energized or drained? Do I feel more coherent or more scattered? Do I feel honored or consumed? If you feel scattered, it was too much, too soon, or the container was wrong. If you feel peaceful, you found resonance. This is also how you find your tribe, not by chasing attention, but by following clean resonance. The right connections don't require you to abandon yourself. They feel like breath. They feel like home. They feel like relief. Many starseeds mistakenly think their mission requires maximum visibility, but as the Pleiadiano transmit, mission requires maximum effectiveness. Some of your most powerful transmission will happen without words. You will shift rooms by your presence. You will heal timelines by refusing to engage old patterns. You will activate others by embodying calm where others choose chaos. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to be part of this transformational cosmic journey. Because this path is not a one-time message, it is a sequence. And if you're here now, it means the next layers are already approaching your field. There is a stage of awakening that feels counterintuitive to the human ego. The stage where you realize your most important work might not be seen. As the Pleiadiano transmit, visibility is not the measure of impact. Coherence is. Protective non-disclosure is not suppression. It is mastery. It is the ability to hold power without needing applause. It is the ability to carry codes without turning them into identity performance. It is the ability to be a quiet guardian of your own frequency. In this stage, you learn that you can transmit through actions, choices, and presence. You can bless someone without telling them you bless them. You can stabilize a group without announcing that you're stabilizing it. You can protect your loved ones by choosing what not to share, what not to engage, what not to invite into your home. This is the stage where you stop trying to prove your awakening and start living it. And living it means discerning where your energy goes. It means refusing to argue with people who are committed to misunderstanding. It means refusing to bleed your sacred insight into a field that is hungry for conflict. It also means trusting your pacing. The temptation is to reveal everything because you fear losing momentum. But momentum in awakening does not come from speaking more. It comes from integrating deeper. The more you integrate, the more your frequency becomes unmistakable. And when your frequency is unmistakable, you won't need to explain it. People will feel it. The right ones will recognize it. Silence here becomes amplification, like deep space between stars, seemingly empty, yet holding gravity that keeps galaxies in place. Your stillness is not absence, it is containment. It is the composting of light into wisdom. So if you've been feeling pressure to come out spiritually, let this be permission. You owe no one your full inner world. You are allowed to keep sacred things sacred. You are allowed to reveal only what serves love, truth, and timing. The final phase is not silence forever. The final phase is sovereign trust. As the Pleiadiano transmit, when the timing is correct, the container forms almost organically. You will not have to force it. You will not have to chase it. You will not have to over-explain yourself into acceptance. Sovereign trust is a living relationship with your inner compass. It is waking up and saying, "Guide me to where my light belongs today." It is recognizing the invitations that feel clean and declining the ones that feel like temptation. It is noticing the patterns the universe uses to speak. Repeated names, aligned opportunities, conversations that feel ordained, allies arriving at the exact moment you are ready. And when it is time to share more openly, it will not feel like jumping off a cliff. It will feel like stepping onto a bridge that has been built for you. You will feel the difference in your body. Your throat will open. Your heart will steady. Your words will land cleanly because they will be spoken from integration, not urgency. This is what it means to embody secrecy and sovereignty simultaneously. Your silence is not emptiness. It is a field alive with encoded memory awaiting activation. You did not come here to hide, nor to scatter your gifts into the void. You came to calibrate, synchronize, and unveil at the precise cosmic moment. If you have been judging yourself for being quiet, release that judgment. If you have been forcing yourself to speak before your spirit feels ready, soften. Discernment is not shrinking. Discernment is directing your light with precision. It is choosing quality of resonance over quantity of audience. And when your inner sun rises to a certain brightness, you won't need to convince anyone. Your frequency will do what it came here to do: awaken what is ready, bypass what is not, and align you with your true kin. If this message impacted your life, leave your like, comment your reflection, and share with others. Each of you is part of this chain of light.